to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Who you with, Kirk? I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak on it. Welcome to speak on it. I'm welcome to speak. Welcome to speak. I'm 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 who you with, Kirk, dog. Welcome to speak on it with who you with, Kirk, dog. I'm who you with, Kirk, dog. Happy Thursday to everyone. Hopefully, y'all had a great day today and a great week. I apologize for last night. I had no idea some storms was coming up, but hey, as I said last night, our lights went out again, and man, it was crazy. Then come back on to about 10:30 last night, but we're still here. So, want to welcome everyone to the show on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch, Twitter. D Live is in the house. Hopefully, y'all had a great week so far. It's Thursday night. Tonight, we're gonna talk about some of the stories that we was gonna talk about last night. Michael Curzio, and he took part in the January 6th Capitol Hill attack. We're gonna talk about him because if I'm not mistaken, he could have been released today after spending 6 months in jail, time served. Um, then we're also going to talk about Tameka Drummer, um, who is serving a lifetime sentence for having 2 ounces of marijuana. Yeah. So you see the difference between black laws and white laws. It's a little bit different than what they not the exact same, but it's a stiffer charge for a lesser charge for black folks. So we're gonna hit on that tonight, and then um, Joyce Beatty, an elected official for Ohio, if I'm not mistaken, she was arrested today at Capitol Hill. Um, for the voting right protests. So we're going to hit on that a little bit. And then we're going to talk about Texas GOP. Yeah, we're going to hit on that too. You can live chat with us in the chat room. You can also um, not only chat with us if you want to call in. The number strolling across the top, 972 591 3665, 972 591 3665. Just a couple of rules though. If you decide to call in, please do not block your number. I won't answer. And secondly, be respectful. This is the show for the people, so everybody have their own opinion, but we ask that you come with facts, no conspiracy theory. So, and also, whatever platform you are watching on, please take the time to like, share, subscribe, click the notification for whenever we come on live. You can also be a part of the show. And last but not least, if you are on my personal Facebook page, please go over to Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt Dog. Speak On It with Who You With, Kurt Dog. And then whenever you come on, we can also put your message up in the chat once you come on. So I'm thinking that's all the announcements for today. Yeah, so far, but let's get it started. Oh, I know it's Thursday night. People coming on. They know I normally have a co-host, Miss Risky. She's under the weather today. Text me earlier, said, "Hey, I'm still not feeling good." Tell her, "Hey, praying for you. Hope you feel better." So y'all stuck with me again tonight solo, but she will be back next week. Um, Miss Risky, try to get better. I understand. Hopefully, you're feeling better. Um, so, last night we was going to talk about um, and this story is coming from the Roots, which I love the Roots because they tell it straightforward. Capital Rider who joined a white supremacy gang while in prison for attempted murder, sentenced to time served. Now, some people may say, "Oh, he was sentenced for attempted murder." Now, we're going to compare the cases. It's nothing similar, but here it is. He joined a white supremacy gang while he was in prison for attempted murder. Now, here's the problem. He was arrested shortly after the January 6th attack and been in prison ever since. But they're saying he's getting time served for his participation in the attack. So some of you may feel like, oh, that's fine. He did his time. I don't see how that's doing your time when it's a terrorist attack, a domestic terrorist that went on our Capitol Hill. But just because they yell and say it's my right, they don't give you the right to go out and destroy or try to overthrow our government. The story says, have you ever sat around wondering what does a white man in America have to do to stay locked up? Well, if you have, you can unfortunately be convicted of attempted murder, join a white supremacy prison gang, and then later take part in an attempt to overthrow the U.S. government. Off of your list of potential offense that will put a white man under the jail. As it turned out, a white man who fits the above description was allowed on Monday to plead guilty to a misdemeanor charge related to the January 6th riot in the U.S. Capitol and was sentenced to 6 months in jail with credit for the time served on all but 2 days of that sentence. According to CNN, Michael Curzio, 35, will be released from jail on Wednesday because due to his prior criminal record, he remained in lockup since his arrest on January 14th. Mr. Curzio should be sentenced to 6 months. Maximum federal judge Card Nichols said at Curzio hearing, "I'm not in a position to be able to impose a longer sentence than that. I think the 6 month sentence is appropriate." Here, Mr. Curzio will have in 2 days served the entire sentence. The Smithfield, Florida man previously served 8 years in prison after being found guilty of first degree attempted murder for shooting his ex girlfriend, new boyfriend, in the chest. And while he was in prison, he joined a violent white supremacy gang known as the Unforgiven. Um, the Justice Department reportedly opposed Curzio release, citing the fact that he was just released from his attempted murder bid in 2019. And just 2 years later, he was caught inside the Capitol building engaging in a deadly rowdy whitey rebellion. The Justice Department also note the Unforgiven known history of violent acts both in and outside of prison, as well as the presence of Nazi tattoos on Curzio's body. Of course, Curzon said in court that he only joined the violent prison gang for protection, and he no longer affiliate with it, despite the fact that he still tatted up with swastikas and other Nazi symbols. According to CNN, other Capitol riots who pled guilty to the same charge as Curzon are likely to be treated even more lengthily. Um, it's highly unlikely that other writers would plead guilty to the same charge, will receive the full 6 month sentence, maximum sentence. Curzio's case is unique given his attempted murder conviction and the fact that he has been incarcerated while awaiting trial since his arrest on January 14th. Curzio, 35, pled guilty to one count of unlawful protection protesting inside the Capitol and agreed to pay $500 to repair damage to the complex. This has become the standard plea deal that the Justice Department has offered to many Capitol rioters who didn't act violently. The $500 Curzio agreed to pay is actually just another instance of him receiving a light penalty for his crime. Seeing as the charges he pled guilty to carry a maximum fine of $5,000, which prosecutors decided to waive, according to News 6. Oh, excuse me. Curzio had been treated with kid gloves like this. Sure, it is. It sounds about white though. So, yeah. So he's actually should be out of prison after serving 6 months. Is that the type of time that a terrorist would normally get? Once you commit a terrorist act on American, that's how much time you get? 6 months? That's mm, kind of fishy. Want to welcome everyone who just came in. Welcome to the show. You are listening to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, though. I'm actually running solo tonight. Miss Risky's not feeling good. If you are on my personal page, please go over to Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, Dog. You can live chat with us during the show, and I can put your message up on the stream. So if you take the time, it's right at the bottom of your stream. Just type it in just like it is on the stream. Speak On It with Who You With Kurt, Dog. And I can put your message up on the stream. T-Cow, welcome to the show. Said happy Thursday, Kurt. Dog. Where's Miss Risky? She's actually not feeling good. She's under the weather. I talked with her yesterday. She wasn't feeling good, and then she texted me this morning, said she really not feeling good. So hopefully she start to feel better. Um, like I told her yesterday, we're praying for you get well, and we need you back on Thursday. So hopefully she will be back next week. So just pray for her, and hopefully everything works out. So with Michael, I want to know how y'all feel about it. Do you think 6 months was appropriate for that particular charge? Because to me, 6 months and a $500 fine where there was millions of dollars worth of damage that was done. Not only just the damage that was done, we also have to take in the fact they had to put a security gate around Capitol Hill, which they just removed it last week. Um, and with all that taking place, do you think $500 fine is appropriate? Because if it calls for 5,000, it should be what it calls for, 5,000. Um, and there's no other way of putting it. Stop sugarcoating the folks that do this, because when you sugarcoat it, these type of acts will continue to happen. It's not about race. If it was anybody else, you wouldn't give them a slap on the wrist. Hold these folks accountable. That's the only way we're gonna change. That's the reason why it's so important. We need leaders in office that is not afraid to do the right thing. Hold them to what the law called for. They did a domestic terrorist act. It's no other way of putting it. That's all it was. If it was any other terrorist, would you hold them to the same standard? So why would you get him a pass? I have my opinion why you did, but um, so I'm just like, wow, um, kind of it's crazy, but they should hold him accountable. He just got out of jail 2 years ago for attempted murder, attempted first degree murder. What make you think he's not gonna do these type of activities again? He shot an ex-girlfriend boyfriend in the chest. So I'm like, hey, but that's the type of issues that we dealing with the laws in America, because we have these leaders that are afraid to take a stand and do what's right. Follow the laws. Hold these folks accountable. If it was me, y'all wouldn't have a problem with following the laws. Yeah, excuse me. I know for me, I wouldn't do it at all for the simple fact. I said before the election, we know somebody gonna win, someone gonna lose. I asked the question: if the person you supporting lose, what happened then? And unfortunately, Trump supporters lost, and this is how they responded: attack on America, trying to overthrow our government. But it need to come to a stop. It need to stop. People do this all the time. Well, a lot of people do this that actually get away with it. They get away with it, and it's like, oh, they were just having a bad day. If only if you knew how many bad days I have. So, um, so once again, um, he should be out and on to the next one. But I'm going to. I know we talk about this all the time. Make comments about the difference between black laws and white laws on the show. Now, these two stories, they're not similar, but it kind of give you the idea. Um, with Michael, he was caught in Capitol Hill during a domestic terrorist, got 6 months in prison. Now, that was a federal crime. 2 years after he got out of prison from attempted first degree murder. Now, unfortunately, Tameka Drummer out of Mississippi, which is really crazy. And people gonna talk about. People say it all the time when it come down to unarmed victim. First thing they'll say, well, look at their background. Their background caused this, caused that. But with Tameka, this is what's going on with her, and I try to look into it. But Tameka, she was actually arrested and was actually I'm sorry, Thought I heard thunder. I hope my light's not gonna go out again. Um, but with Tameka Drummer, she actually was arrested in Mississippi, and they tried to get her case overthrown, try to get it tossed out because they sentenced her to life in prison, um, for actually having less than 2 ounces of marijuana. Now, she was sentenced in 2008, was sentenced to life in prison in Mississippi for possession of 2 ounces of marijuana. She was pulled over for a routine traffic stop for an expired license plate when officers searched her car and found the small amount of pot. The small amount, which can now be bought legally in many states. She has been in prison for the last 12 years for this offense and will be for the rest of her life unless citizens continue to put pressure on the Mississippi government to do away with unjust habitant of offenders laws like the one that has imprisoned Drummer. Um, The offender statute allowed for extended imprisonment for previous offender, usually far beyond the typical maximum sentence for a crime. This allowed for a lesser offense, like drummer amount of pot, to result in life sentence. These laws affect black men and women, and particularly in the toxic cycle of mass incarceration in America. Drummer was counted as a habitant offender due to two previous marijuana possession conviction, as well as being convicted of voluntary manslaughter in 1992 and aggravated assault in 98. While people put pressure on Governor Tate Reeves to pardon Drummer or do away with the laws, sometimes it's something he says has no intention of doing. More people are coming to understand how unjust these laws are. Mississippi laws are some of the harshest, um, and the state hold the title of the third highest imprisonment rate in the U.S. A report by FWD.US say Mississippi offender laws are causing extreme prison sentence that are disproportionate, affecting African American men and women, um, and are costing the state millions of dollars for decades of corporate incarceration. Um, Drummer, as well as many others, deserve a chance that justice help her achieve it by signing this petition to put pressure on Governor Reeves, the state official, to do away with unjust offender laws and release minor offenders like Drummer. So, yes, she had a background. Um, One was the marijuana possession and voluntary manslaughter in 92 and aggressive assault in 98. But that's not why she went to jail. She went to jail on those charges, but now she spent 12 years in jail on marijuana charges. How is that fair? I understand there's two different states. It's the state, and then that's the federal with the Capitol Hill. But do you think if that was Michael? Michael did have a first degree attempted murder charge 2 years ago. He also part of a white supremacy uh, gang that he joined in prison. Have all the tattoos to prove it. And then he did a domestic terrorist on Capitol Hill trying to overthrow our government. And let me explain. What they've done, both of them is wrong. And wrong is wrong, right is right. But not only did Michael end up trying to overthrow our government, but also did damage to property in the Capitol Hill. Uh, Several people was injured. And with Tameka, she got caught with 2 ounces of weed. To me, it don't add up. 2 ounces of weed. And now she's serving a life sentence. Been there for 12 years. 12 years. And Michael gets 6 months. 6 months and 2 days. Let me get it right. 6 months and 2 days. But hey, some people may feel like that's fair. But let the truth be told, it's not fair. It's not fair. That's the difference between black laws and white laws here in America. Blacks are always going to get a harsher crime. Miss Riskin, I did a show, and if you're new to the show, definitely go in on YouTube and look at the video. It's titled Black Laws versus White Laws. Two different individuals, same background, same crime, same judge, and the black person got the harsher crime, got the harshest penalty. That's the deal that we have to deal with here in America. We have to deal with that. And a lot of it is all because, first of all, the way that people been taught majority of their life, uh, from slavery days. And when you instill that, and then you get certain people sitting up on a judge in a position that can choose what type of sentence a person get, color do play a role in it, play a big role in it. And this is the situation that we have. That's why it's so important for us to come out and vote, get registered to vote, and get out and vote. For the simple fact, no judges are elected officials. If you get out and vote, you can change some things. And they will have to understand they need to be fair across the board. It's not about, well, for me, it's about doing what's right. Have nothing to do with color. It's about doing what's right. You have to treat everybody fairly. Give the sentence that fit for that crime. And if your state have laws like this, well, you might need to re-elect some state officials to get those laws changed, because the laws was set for the simple fact it was going to do a mass incarceration of black and browns, and they could choose who continue to go against these type of crimes, kind of like earlier this year or last year, can't remember when it was, but it was a couple of friends went fishing, ran across this guy, and I forgot how many felony cases this guy had in Florida that committed the murder, killed these two friends that, and he never should have been out of jail. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he had over 100 felony accounts against him, and he wasn't that old. He started at a young age. But then again, that's the system showing favoritism to certain people. That's all it was. Now they want to talk about, oh, he never should have been out. Well, if you make the system fair across the board, it set the tone. It'll kind of slow it down. But when you go ahead and just say, oh, don't worry about it, we're just going to give you a slap on the wrist. No, hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. So hopefully, Governor of Mississippi will change his mind, sign the petition, and hopefully he'll change his mind. Governor Tate Reeves, and pardon her. Um, but also, what Tameka also need to do. This is why we need prison reform. For the simple fact, once they get out, they have to have something to look into, something to uh, give them the opportunity. What if it's jobs, a skill or something? They have to be able to reprogram their mind. Now, I'm not saying everybody is going to do that, but at the same time, with hopefully Tamika, if she get that opportunity to get out, hopefully she get out and have a plan. Have a plan. Hopefully she took advantage of this time while she been in there, and tuck up a trade or something where she could come out to help someone from going down the same road she went through. So that's what I'm hoping for. So hopefully, uh, uh, Governor Tate Reeves will take a look at it and get her out. Um, now, this one came out about 3.5, 4 hours ago, maybe. Um, U.S. Capitol Police arrest Representative Joyce Beatty during voting right protests in Hart Center office building, which is um, she's a Democratic Congresswoman. Joyce Beatty was arrested in the Hart Senate office building Thursday after she led a group of protesters into the building. A photo posted by reporter Nicholas Wu shows Betty and other being zip tied by Capitol Police. Um, Betty is the head of the Congressional Black Caucus. Was seen moments earlier walking into the building, chatting in the filibuster, and she was arrested. Now she's, if I'm not mistaken, I believe she's a rep for Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but the thing is, it's mighty funny. They come in, they automatic knew they was coming, and they got people there to arrest them. But on January 6th, as much as Trump talked about January 6th, and even once he gave that speech telling people to march down, let's march down to the Capitol Hill and demand that they stop the vote. But they took hours to get help there for the Capitol Police. Now, we've seen in the past BLM protests come by, they have them lined up on a step case. And because they protesting, they arrested them. And as a matter of fact, I know here in Texas, it was a protest at our state capitol today over the same thing, uh, over the voter laws. But it's amazing how they can easily arrest certain group of people, but you give other people the authority to come in, destroy stuff. Not saying it's right. Um, they come in, destroy the property, put feces up on the wall, steal things, breaking stuff up. And it's like, hey, they had every right to defend that building. Once they breached that threshold, they should have um, they should have actually defended that building with their life by any means necessary. That's what you sworn to do. I still feel like somebody probably told them it's going to be protests, but don't do anything. They patriots, as they call it. Um, so that's I don't know. That's the difference between the things that we see and what we do. Um, it's completely different. Um, then come back down to Texas. Yeah, Texas. The other day, Texas GOP, they decided to go ahead and passing the voting in the bail bill while the House is in chaos. Now the Democrats was not there. Of course, they're in Washington working, trying to make some changes. Since Texas want to continue to try this voter suppression. Now, not Rick Perry, Greg Abbott actually have already said once they come back, they will be arrested. Now, here's the problem. Greg Abbott been in this position for a long time. I've said it before. It been Republican running Texas for over 20 years. And they never talked about the wall, never talked about the border wall. And they had many of years of trying to get this wall built. Greg Abbott, on the other hand, because he know his time is limited, he know he gonna have a hell of a race for governor next year. I wouldn't be surprised if he decide not to run next year. That's how many people is coming up against him. I'm not too fond of some of them, but I'm like, hey, it's time for him to go. He been here long enough, been here way too long. And the way that he's doing these things is not good for no one in Texas. The laws he's trying to pass, he's trying to please a small group of people, and that's it. But when you are an elected official, you're supposed to serve everybody, especially a governor, everybody. It doesn't make a difference if they donate it to you or not. Because the thing is, yeah, of course you want to cater to the ones that donate to your campaign, but that's showing favoritism. That's showing mean that you don't care about the ones that don't support you. And if you want to be real about it, you should support every Texas. Do what's best for Texas. You trying to do this wall since Trump lied about the wall in 2016. He tried to lie about it in 2020. Try to get the wall built. Wait until the last minute to try to get it built. Pass laws to get it built. But then you want to come back and you haven't said nothing about the wall this whole time. You are the governor of Texas. If you were serious about the wall, you would have had it built years ago. But now that you're seeing how people gravitated toward Trump talking about this wall, you hoping they do the same for you. But Greg, you got too many strikes up against you, player. Look, we talked about how you got little Becky change your executive order last year to get little Becky out of jail to benefit her. Then you turned around this rolling blackout that you lied, continue to lie about, talking about we never experienced this. You just never got caught with your pants down. For the simple fact, every year we have rolling blackouts. Every year, summertime, wintertime, rolling blackout. So here it is. You expect for us to just feel like everything is okay. No, it's not. Just because you got caught with your pants down in February, Oh, this would never happen again. But Greg, you must remember, go pull up the news articles when you were saying uh, we may end up experiencing rolling blackout. You was okay with it until it backfired. Why? Because you didn't have to worry about it. I'm sure your mansion was nice and toasty, and you didn't lose power there because I'm sure you have generators there. But the people of Texas don't forget that. We won't forget it. You want to put all this money to the border wall? Let's put it toward our grids to make sure we don't have to have rolling blackouts. But that's not important to you. That's not what your supporters want. Your supporters want this wall because your supporters probably also have generators at their home also. So why not have that focus toward the grid? So many people have died during the ice storm in February, all because of a rolling blackout. And apparently, um, y'all didn't have enough knowledge about it because if it's freezing, you cut off the power that is keeping it thawed out. Well, guess what? It's gonna be hell try to light that back. That's kind of like if you have running your car and your antifreeze run out. Well, guess what? Once that car get cold without that antifreeze, it's not gonna start back up until that temperature come back up. Same thing. So yeah, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to go. And tell your sidekicks, Dan Patrick, time for him to go too. Ken Patson, time for him to go. It's time for all of you to go. It's time for some fresh leaders. Leaders that's going to be for everyone in the state of Texas. Now, I know Ken Patson, he's already paranoid for the simple fact that he have a lot of cases facing up against him. Um, the security fraud, where he can face up to 20 years in prison, that he been trying to wiggle his way out of it, and stuck by Trump trying to get him to pardon him, but that didn't work. Trump don't care about y'all. Then turn around and all the bogus lawsuit that opened up another investigation on him, and he already had one to come up last year, abuse of power that the government is investigating. So his law license, is at jeopardy too. So yeah, go ahead and give it up. Pack your bags, because the three of you about to lose your job. Because Texas is tired of this. We're tired of dealing with people that are leaders and only care about their self or only care about people that support them. You're supporting a whole one of the largest state in the US, and you're just saying, oh well, you don't care. You need to support everybody. That's what you ran for. Or did you just run to get your resume up? So yeah, pack your bags. Your time is up. If I s- if long as I have a voice, I'm gonna make sure we get you out of there. And please, anybody who say that they're running, do your research. Do your research on them. See what they're all about. That's why, for me, I'm sticking with civil rights attorney Lee Merritt. I see what he do. I see exactly the work that he does. He's not just for black folks. He do it for all people. dealing with civil rights. That's what we need. Somebody who's going to be there for everybody and not just for a group of people. You got to be able to serve everyone. That's why I'm rolling with Lee Murray. So Dan Patrick, you might well give it up. You you haven't came out and campaigned since Pappy was a pup. So yeah, it's time to give it up. T. Cal said, "Tell the truth and shame the devil." You got it. That's what we're all about. Speaking the truth. If I'm wrong, show me where I'm wrong. So, people gonna say certain things. They're gonna do a certain things. What's going on, Marcellus Smith? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Thank you for always supporting the show. It's the people show. Hey, I appreciate you. Um, Miss Risky not here tonight. She's under the weather, but hopefully she'll be back next week. I talked to her yesterday for about 10 or 15 minutes. So, and she texted me today, said she's not going to be able to do it. So I told her, no, that's fine. I understand. Feel better. Feel better. Um, so hopefully, so hopefully she is trying to get better. Trying to get better. Yeah, it is Thursday, but unfortunately, she's under the weather. She's not feeling well at all. Um, so hopefully she feel better. Because I was telling her, I said, look, several years back, my wife and I went to Aruba for our anniversary, and what she was telling me she dealing with felt like what I dealt with when we came back from Aruba. This was before COVID. Um, and I was like, hey, you got to force yourself to eat, drink plenty of fluid, whatever you have to do to feel better. So hopefully, she'll feel better. I'll make sure uh, I pass the word on. Um, Cause she probably gonna be like, I can't do it like her. Like she say, uh, how she say, "Hey Marcella," however she do it. So matter of fact, I just texted to her. If she feel like to, she probably chime in, but I'm sure she probably gonna laugh when she see it. Um, but yeah, but we talked yesterday, and I was like, hey, praying for you. Hopefully you feel better. So, but knowing her, she probably try to tap in real quick, but she won't stay on long because she's not feeling good at all. And she was like, Curtis, look, I don't wish this on my worst enemy. Wish you don't have none, but still, hopefully she feel better. Um, but yeah, Marcellus, I don't know if you came on last night or if you seen the video, but it was a storm came through here, knocked all the power out. I had just got started on the show, and I'm like, oh Lord. So we was without power till about 10:30 or so last night. I was like, man, that's some crazy stuff. And Miss Risky was talking about again. I said, yeah. Uh, I came on, but the show last night was only 7 minutes and 58 seconds. Soon as I got started, when I came in to start the show, it was sunny outside, and the sun was so bright. I had closed my blind for it won't be shining on me. And after we did the countdown, the intro, and I was telling what we was going to talk about on the show, lights went out. So I had to come back on with my phone. And when I came home with my phone, I was like, hey, I apologize. Our lights just went out. I try to come back, but they didn't come on till late. So, but yeah, that was It was crazy. Twice this week it done happened, which is really crazy. Um, but we don't. Hopefully, we don't have it again. But they do say rain is in the forecast until Sunday. Every night, possible storms every night until Sunday. So I'm like, Lord. Um, so hopefully we can make it through that. But I wanted to talk about something, and I try not to really talk about uh, personal life, because, but I do. Uh, I'm just kind of concerned, because I was gonna hit on it last night. I'm talking about the Richard Sherman incident, the domestic violence with him and his wife. Um, it's certain things that definitely should not happen, and definitely not domestic violence, because it is a serious account. And the thing is, and I don't know, but if Richard, if you hear this, feel free to reach out to me. But I've heard the 911 call today, and to hear his wife say that he's talking about killing himself, hanging himself, that's a concern. That's a problem. Um, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have. It should never get to that point. No relationship is worth your life. I understand some people can't deal with, um, cannot deal with losing a relationship, but listening to this, it's not good. It's not good. If you're involved with a domestic violence, please get some help. Get some help. The National Domestic Violence Hotline number is going across the stream: 1 800 799 7233. 1 800 799 7233. Or if you are dealing with thoughts of committing suicide, please get some help. Get some help. We have a lot of violence that's going on in the world, and we definitely don't need any more like this. Um, you can reach out to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1 800 273 8255. 1 800 273 8255. I don't care who you are, please get some help. Um, Richard Sherman, this is not good. I don't know if she was just saying that, uh, but get some help, get some counseling. Counseling do work. It do work, and if anybody, especially here in the Metroplex, if or no matter where you are, if you actually dealing with stuff, and if you are working, you can get counseling for free. Go to your HR, ask about the EAP program. The EAP program, Employee Assistant Program. You and your family can get counseling for free. I know Richard is a free agent this year, I believe. Um, Saying that I don't know if he's already released. I see one story saying he will be released from jail without bail, with several conditions. Um, and another one saying that he was released without bail, but he faces four misdemeanor charges. Um, but the thing is, it's not worth taking your own life. It's not worth it, or taking someone else's life either, because we're getting more and more violence going on um, in the world itself. I've been saying for months, every day. I've always been a news junkie, but every day it's like several killings going on here in the Metroplex. And then when I start to um, do research, I start seeing more killings, which is crazy. So definitely, it's okay to ask for help. I've been taking counseling since 2018, and it does good. Um, it's very good to take counseling. Um, so definitely get some help, and it's all right to ask for help. I have no problem with saying, "Hey, I'm struggling," and it's a struggle. Um, but some of the charges he was charged with was misdemeanor and gross misdemeanor charge of criminal trespassing in the second degree and malicious mischief in the third degree, both carrying domestic violence, and misdemeanor charges of resisting arrest and driving under the influence. Um, so the judge declined to set a $10,000 bail as prosecutor request. Uh, the judge called the 33-year-old Sherman, who did not attend the hearing, a pillar of the community, and noted that it was presumed he would be released because it was his first arrest. He ordered that Sherman not have contact with his father-in-law, that he not use alcohol and non-prescription drugs, and that he should not possess the weapon. Um, but I'm like this. He talked about allegedly talked about um, what his wife said on the 911 call. He talking about if the police is called, he's gonna fight them. And she was asking the operator, please tell him do not kill them. Do not kill him. Because here's the problem. For her to have to say that to a 911 operator, uh, that's not good. Now, I will say this about the operator. I personally felt like she had an attitude because I thought it was just me. And I was like, hey, I asked my wife, I said, was it just me? Or she said, no, she had an attitude. And it took my wife a lot to say somebody have an attitude. And I just wanted to make sure I wasn't hearing what I was hearing wrong. She was very uh, smart with her, kind of yelled at her a little bit. And I understand she's trying to do a job and get all the information she needs, but you also can control how things go as for the person that's giving you the information. You got to understand that a person is very upset um, and scared because they don't know what's going to happen. But I'm glad he wasn't able to leave. They was able to get there. But I feel in this situation, because she did say He talked about hanging himself. Well, at this point, they probably should have sent them to get evaluation and go from there. Because you cannot just assume he's a pillar of the community, but that doesn't mean he still don't have issues. He played football where he can easily have brain damage from being hit or hitting someone. So yeah, it can easily happen. And sometimes the players that actually have those issues, they don't know until it's too late. I feel what the judge probably should have done was sent him to get evaluation, make sure he was mentally stable. Because for anyone to talk about um, uh, committing suicide, they need some help. They need some help. And what I'm saying, because of that, Sherman been in the lead for a pretty good while. And unfortunately, sometimes depends on who surround you. I don't know who surround him. I don't know what issue him and his wife was having, but he may know his career is coming to an end soon, and he's concerned about that. They asked if he was on drugs or anything, had any weapons. She's wife said no. But she also mentioned that he drunk I think she said and um vodka and something else. It was a mix of liquor, brown and clear, which you should never do. Brown and clear liquor do not mix. They may taste good, but you're gonna feel it a little bit later. And and the way she said it, like he drunk a. She actually said on the thing he drunk a baller of it, um, of vodka and something else. So there was some brown liquor in it, but I'm trying to see if I can um see exactly what he drank. But either way, um, um, okay, I'm gonna go back and read a little bit of this because I didn't see all this earlier. Um, uh, so he was arrested early Wednesday after police said he crashed his car in a construction zone along the busy highway east of Seattle and then tried to break into his in-laws' home in the suburb of Redmond. His father-in-law, Raymond Moss, told officers that he armed himself with a handgun and fired pepper spray at the NFL cornerback to protect his family as Sherman tried to bust in the door with his shoulder. The family began to yell in fear. Moss told police, I used pepper spray on Sherman's face through the partially open door, and he was still banging and attempting to gain entry. I told him to stop. I armed myself with my handgun, at this time fearing for the safety of myself and my family. Officers were cautioned about arresting Sherman because of his size, strength, and belligerent. According to police report released Thursday, Sherman displays several mood swings and flaring speech, had uh, bloodshot, watery eyes, and had the odor of intoxication emitting from his person during contact with authority at his in-laws resident. According to the report, Sherman told authority there that he was upset over his children being taken from him. The report said he told When told that he was being placed under arrest and directed to kneel down so that he could be handcuffed, the police reports said Sherman ignored those commands and became more hostile and belligerent and stated multiple times that he would not be arrested or go into handcuff. Officers could not use a taser because they worried about igniting whatever chemical Sherman's father-in-law had sprayed him with, and could not fire a beanbag round because they were too close to him. According to police report, instead they released a police dog, which bit his ankle and caused a minor cut as other officer wrestled with him on the ground and report on the ground. The report said Sherman moves seemed to lighten once he was in custody, and he even joked about the form the trooper had used to take him to the ground. According to police report, Sherman was polite and cooperative at the hospital where he was taken to be treated for the K9 bite he suffered during the altercation with authority, he said. In February, King County prosecutor in the sheriff office obtained the extreme risk protection order for Sherman, which barred him from having guns after a judge determined he posed a danger to himself or others. Details of the case were sealed, and it was not immediately cleared if any weapon had been seized from him. Ashley Sherman told police her husband had been on antidepressant and was receiving mental health counseling. So that changed everything I said earlier. At this point, yes, they should have sent him for evaluation. He was already on antidepressant pill, been going through mental counseling, um, and because they had received the order to remove all guns from him because of the safety of him and others, yes, he should have um, been taken in for some in treatment counseling. And the thing is, anybody who's taking counseling, the only way that counseling is going to work if you are honest. Um, if you are honest with the counselor. Other words, don't go in with the mindset like I did when I first went in, thinking, oh, they just want to know my business. I'm not telling this person my business. But then I think it was my second section or third section or something. I just opened up. I opened up. I felt a hell of a lot better once I opened up. And once I opened up, I was good. So now, my counselor every week, I wait for it. If for some reason I cannot, uh, if for some reason we can't counsel, trust me, those probably during the times when I come on the show and be cussing up a storm. So, T Cal said I heard it too. They was extremely to her. Uh, yeah, she's talking about the 911 tape, I would assume, and the way that they was talking, the 911 operator was talking, it was pretty harsh, um, as if she was doing a prank call or something. I don't know, but yeah, Richard Sherman, please get some help. Please get some help. You're worth more than that. Your kids need you. Your kids need to. Um, Everything that you do, your kids is gonna watch. They're gonna watch. They're gonna pay attention. So please get some help. Um, so, and I, okay. I was on Twitter today, and I guess it just came out that the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, Dwayne Hawkins, apparently him and his wife got into an incident in Vegas on July the 3rd, and she was arrested. yesterday. She was arrested yesterday because apparently she knocked the tooth out. It doesn't make a difference if you are a male or female. Abuse can come from both sides. It's not right. If you ever get to the point where you get so angry you want to put your hands on someone, it's time to go. It's time to go. Be the bigger person. Walk away. Because it's not going to be good. That's like, for instance, with me. Um, I don't argue. I don't argue for the simple fact, especially with somebody who, um, with my wife or anything, I won't do it. And we I learned that early in our marriage because the thing is, if I feel like I'm being attacked, I'm gonna come out and I'm gonna try to hurt your feelings. um, so and then next thing you know, you find yourself apologizing. So I've never been the type of person to sit up and argue. And because of that, it opened up a line of communication. If we could sit down and talk, we could work out whatever we want to. But you have to be willing to hear each other out. You have to be willing, wanting to work it out. Um, I know a great friend of mine, the Ships, had actually I told my wife and I said, "Hey, this is new to y'all. What you do when something is going on, sit down, talk about it. Both of you get a tablet, take notes, take notes." Tell me, Kurt, dog, you listen to her, take notes. Once you get finished, even and he told me this is the important part a lot of people don't want to listen to. Even if that person says something that you don't like, allow them to finish and take notes. Once they get finished, the notes you take, go back over and discuss them. And then that other person allow you to speak what's on your mind and take notes. Then y'all discuss them. So at that point, you have a line of communication open and it works. It works. So yeah. Um, so definitely take heed to what you say and how you say things. Um, and don't be trying to hurt other people feeling. Um, but definitely hopefully Richard do get some help. Um, and hopefully Dwayne Haskin and his wife will get some help also. Because when it becomes physical, that's going to an extreme level. Um, and you got to be willing to fight for your marriage, fight for it. And let me say this because I had no idea um, that he was upset because his kids was taken away from him for whatever reason. I guess the wife went through some issues. She moved out, took the kids. Richard, I understand how you feel. I truly understand that. But also, you have to be able to get some help. I'm not blaming you. I'm not blaming her. But I'm talking as someone that have experienced this. So yeah, definitely get you some help. If you ever want to call 972-591-3665. 972-591. Yeah, 3665. Had to make sure I didn't give out my personal number. But yeah, definitely get you some help and hopefully everything work out. Um I want to appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. Miss Risky, hope you feel better. Um, Hopefully you feel better. I'll be calling, checking up on you tomorrow, and hope you feel better. So, other than that, we will be back Sunday. We will be making some changes to the show. Don't have all the details yet, but we will let you know as soon as we get them. Trying to decide what's going to work best for the show. So, we'll be making changes here pretty soon in the near future. So, other than that, I will see y'all Sunday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, if the good Lord say the same. Until then, I love each and every one of you. Peace.